Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here from Antwerp, and today we are gonna taste the Kasteel Nitro Noir Porter. Like I said in the previous video about brewery Van Honsebrouck, the Kasteel brewery, in 2020 they marketed the Nitro Series, a series in which they didn't entirely replace carbon dioxide with nitrous, but they did add a shot. They actually call it a nitro infused beer, so they added a shot of nitrogen to the beer. And you might wonder, what does this do? Well, it has several effects, advantages you might say. For example, it is said that this way you get a draft-like beer from a can or a bottle, mostly from a can. Another thing is that nitrogen is actually lighter than carbon dioxide. It is more easily digestible. It is not so heavy on the stomach or on the digestive system. A difference between this and Guinness, because we all know Guinness as a nitrous beer, is that in Guinness there's a widget which captures nitrogen, and by moving it, it releases nitrogen. This beer is nitrogen infused, and it doesn't have a widget, which means that we have to activate the nitrogen ourselves. And I am pretty nervous about this. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I still have my trusted anniversary glass here. You might see that the golden edge is partially gone. The glass has been washed more than once, but of course this is a 23-year-old glass, so still happy with it though. And we have the can. Now this is a porter, hence the name Nitro, because it's nitrogen infused, Noir because it's black for French for black, and porter, well, because it's a porter. Nothing hard about that. Funny thing, by the way, in the olden days, Van Honsebrouck used to sponsor a soccer team, Club Brugge or Bruges. Since they managed to make nitrous beers, and that was actually an American, started at their American division in Michigan. So they decided to sponsor a local American football team, and they actually, I forgot what the original name was, but in 2021 or 22, the local team in Izegem started as the Nitros, which I like. Not a great team, I guess. I'm not sure. I only saw one game of these guys, and they lost 38-0. So I hope I saw them on a bad day. I am nervous to actually to pour this one, because it has a certain method to it. It is depicted on the can here. You can also find it online, where the bosses of Van Honsebrouck actually pour it themselves. But let's see what the can tells us here. No extras. Nope. So we should shake it gently 3 times. They told me not as a cocktail shaker. I used to be a cocktail shaker. Don't shake it as a cocktail. Pour it quickly and fluently, and then have a taste. So, like I said, no widget, so we activate the nitrogen ourselves. 3 gentle shakes. Now I do feel tension on the can already, and this is exactly why I was nervous. No spraying, that's nice. And fluently and quickly. They actually just said just turn over the can, for which I was quite scared. I already get a nice smell. I do get some coffee and chocolate hints in there, so a classic stout or porter. Quite sweet, yeah. No widget, as promised. A nice yeah, jet black color actually, with brownish beige foam. Tiny, very, very dense, very, very dense foam with very tiny bubbles. And that is also a characteristic of nitrogen. So the CO2 from the beer yeasts or bread yeasts are larger bubbles, and then we have the champagne yeast who give us smaller bubbles, but nitrogen is a lot lighter, a lot smaller, and that gives us these tiny, tiny mini bubbles here. Another effect that this nitrogen has or should have is that we get a very thick and creamy beer, so a very full mouthfeel, which is different from the carbon dioxide in the beers. Okay, it smells quite light now. Quite sweet as well. Still a bit malty though, so I have high hopes for this. Cheers. Okay, absolutely creamy, and this is a 5.7% ABV, and it also tastes quite light. This actually tastes like, how should I say this? A slightly, watery is so negative. A slightly thinner, sweeter stout. Guinness, for example. But, of course, because of the nitrogen, it does lean towards Guinness. But this is slightly thinner, slightly sweeter. Absolutely not bad. I would also compare this with a Scotch ale, actually. Very nice. It does have a slightly boozy aftertaste, and because of the creaminess, it actually sticks to the roof of the mouth and a bit to the glands here underneath the tongue. So it does stay around for a while. Very nice taste, very lovely aftertaste. Yeah, I still get some hints of coffee. Of course, the roasted flavors are present. They are I'd say slightly dominant, but I also get this creamy chocolate taste, and for tastes like that, the nitrogen is ideal because it really creams up the taste, and that combination of coffee and chocolate with that creamy mouthfeel is a whole other story. Now I am willing to taste the Nitro Quad and the Kasteel Bean Nitro, and actually I'd love to taste the Nitro Rouge, just to see what the difference is between the mouthfeel of the regular and the Nitro version of that beer. But in this case, I actually don't think that they sell a regular porter, that this is only the Nitro version. But like I said, for this it absolutely works. Okay. I think I've said everything that I have to say about this beer. Rounding things up, it is very nice, has a nice pleasant smell, quite thin, rather sweet, rather light, very drinkable. Also a bit refreshing, which is not a word that I actually think of with a stout or a porter. So yeah, quite fine. And I think this is a very qualitative beer. So how should I call this? Yeah, let's call it a slightly above average. So 3.5 in Untapped. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Okay, let's leave it at that. As usual, if you guys like this video, however short it is these days, let me know in the comments or hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you'll be the first to know whenever I upload something, which should be in normal weeks, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. local time. So at noon in the States. Anywho, I'm gonna enjoy this a bit further, and I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah, I know I said in the last video that we're crossing borders, but the next one we are going for Spanish beer. Cheers, you guys.